Paul. Yeah. Just looking at these restoration statutes, that is vague, void for vagueness is so imprecisely worded that it gives too much discretion to law enforcement, is unevenly applied, and does not provide notice of what is criminal. Oh, a statute that is overbroad, includes constitutionally protected conduct, and therefore unreasonably encroaches upon individual rights. Now, this idea of being imprecisely worded, yes, too much discretion, unevenly applied, and doesn't provide notice of what is criminal. What is criminal? Is it the RCWs of the state of Washington, or is it the court rules? Oh, now this 2-count criminal complaint that I've told you that I had emailed the police department on the 16th. Yes, wasn't in Brendan, so I know I didn't violate it. And this concept of emails as being cyber stalking, coach, you know, I would have to question the whole criminality of what the prosecutor discretion. Yes, does not provide notice of what is criminal. Now, let's say I accidentally emailed my wife, Judge Porter, and I said, give me every IP address in the world without any intent of her receiving the email. Pooh! Now, I know that you would say, oh my gosh, you're going to prison for that. Pouch! You're going to have to be in. Boo! Well, when it says do not communicate, yes, does the context of the actual email have to reference something involving the individual that you're emailing it? Or could you. Now, this vagueness as to the imprecisely worded, it gives too much discretion. Yeah. I speak to my public defender the first time about a year ago. Yes. When you transported me across county lines for a failure to appear, where I had emailed law enforcement that I wanted the notice of the state of jurisdiction, and you'd been sending it to the wrong address for 5 years. Pow! Now, discretion to law enforcement. Law enforcement doesn't feel compelled to serve a homeless man that communicates with him actual notice of court hearings, but they don't hesitate to arrest somebody for a failure to appear. Poop, 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 poop. Is that too much discretion on the part of the police or sheriff's departments? When I go online, yes, and say there's a court hearing scheduled for the 21st of August of 2017, I email the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department. Now, this discretion on the part of law enforcement about warrants for arrest versus notice of court hearings, do you have the discretion to not give somebody named as the accused, the defendant, of a court hearing? Do you have the discretion that when they request from law enforcement the actual notice of the state of jurisdiction, that you can decide as the police department that you're just not going to serve the guy? Now, when I don't have a mailing address because I'm homeless, oh, you're discriminating against the homeless for not having a mailing address? Multi-billion. I'm absolutely sure that every time I communicated with law enforcement, what's in the government's interest is to protect the rights of the individuals named as parties in any court case, both civil and criminal. Yes, to make sure they have notice from the state. Now, what individual in the sheriff's department, police department, FBI, Department of Justice, or any other oath that I have emailed took it upon their own discretion to decide to not give me notice of court hearings and then arrest me and transport me